Well, hello everyone. Thanks for coming actually outside with me today. I don't want that arrow. Winter is still very much in full swing here in Pennsylvania, but the sun is shining, there's snow still everywhere. But the neighbor has her laundry hanging out to dry, so it must not be too cold, eh? But I'm gonna come out here and shoot my indoor setup outside because why not? And we're gonna talk about pin focusing or target focusing, or which one you should really be doing or really prefer or whatever. Oh boy, that was sore. Oh, that wasn't bad. Oh, that's a bad shot. One of the hardest things for me about taking an indoor setup outside is that this is meant for crummy indoor fluorescent lighting, not the super bright sunny day, although I can see my pin and my peep alignment's really good. The other side of the lighting is, how small this is a 1/8 inch Pine Ridge Z38 peep, and it's a really nice peep and it's really well constructed, but that light constriction is way different out here than it is indoors. I'm blowing through that one side of that target. That's loud. Oh, that's left. Man, really struggling today. There we go. That's a good shot. So as I shoot here, I kind of want to get to the topic at hand, which is focusing when you're at full draw on your pin or at your target downrange. And this is something that not everybody's going to struggle with, although I have a feeling if you are like me and you have corrective lenses, or you need some sort of clarifier verifier situation or a lens to magnify in order to see your target correctly, you're probably going to struggle with this. I vividly remember in my youth I never had any issues with this, but now here I am in my 30s and I'm starting to experience the inability to have a really clear focus on both at the same time, or at least a good focus on both at the same time. I'm really focusing now on either the pin and letting the target go blurry, or focusing on the target and letting the pin go blurry. And I'm kind of learning and picking my poison, and particularly the switch between indoors and out, what that's going to look like. So we'll start with the indoor scene because we're still in it right now here in the middle of winter here in PA. The indoor side of things, I really like to keep my pin in focus, which means, and if you've ever seen it, if I find a clip on YouTube or something, I'll throw it up on the screen, but the idea of racking focus, meaning that you can bring that thing that's in focus right in front of you. You have that bokeh look, there behind you, behind the subject that you take the picture of or in the movie. And then they can rack focus, and then they can focus on the thing that's in the background. So you switch between foreground and background. Indoors, I find, because it's a nice brightly colored spot, that I can get away with letting that be blurry and letting my eye focus on my pin, which is, just a few feet in front of me. And that's a very predictable distance. We all know it's 20 yards and you shoot that over and over. So you can kind of get used to that picture profile down there of what that target looks like, either a 5-spot blue and white or the multicolored Vegas phase, what that looks like at 20 yards when you're just focusing on your pin and the target goes blurry downrange. However, when I step outside like this, and in particular if I have to have different distances, the pin is always at a fixed distance from my eye, right? It's right here. Whereas if I have to judge a deer at 28 yards, a javelina at 20 yards, a black bear at 35 yards, or whatever the case may be, or then of course when I actually get into the woods and I'm judging distance on live animals, I'm going to focus on my target more, and that's because I need to kind of actually judge its distance better through my scope, because I don't know what it looks like if it's at 27 yards or 35 yards when it's blurry. And in particular when I'm shooting at a live animal, I really want to be focusing, picking that hair out, that spot out on that animal. And this can be difficult, and this is what I'm struggling with today, because today, even though I'm still shooting at 20 yards, I'm in this really brightly lit situation. When I focus on my pin, the blur down there is not the same as it is when I shoot indoors. Now, most people would tell you that you need to focus on the target no matter what, and just let the pin melt into the situation and work on your form and the focus of everything. But the issue with that, at least for me, now this is a single pin, so that means the pin is in the center of the housing, which means if I take my peep ring, my housing ring, and I just center everything around the target, that means my pin is going to be in the center of that housing. But if you shoot a multi-pin sight and you can't move that top pin to the center of the housing, now what do you do, right? It's a little bit less intuitive. You still have to line your ring on a ring with your peep sight around the housing of the sight. But now your top pin, it could be higher up, it could be in the top third of the sight housing, it could be in the middle, maybe it's in the bottom third, depending on how slow your bow is. There's a lot of different factors that come into play there, and just focusing on the target, depending on your eyesight, could actually mean a little bit of a disaster when it comes to trying to judge distance and all that type of stuff on a live animal in the woods. So I'm just going to have to keep playing with it. And you're going to have to keep playing with it as well. And particularly if you notice that your eyesight's starting to degrade a little bit and you really have a struggle focusing between the two. Now, if you're going to shoot with a verifier and not a clarifier, clarifier is if you put a lens up in here in the sight housing. If you want to shoot a verifier, which just clears up your pins, it's going to make the target down there blurrier because it's trying to draw the focus, right? Rack the focus, if you will, closer to your eye so you can actually see your pins, period. And if you shoot with a multi-pin sight, all your pins start to blur together, you really might want to think about running a verifier. And they make them in a litany of different strengths. So you don't have to shoot with glasses on. And if you can see long distance, which I can without my glasses, no problem, it's that short distance stuff, then maybe I can get away with just running the verifier there. But again, it's going to make my target down there blurrier. So would I rather shoot with my lenses that allow all distances to be in focus if I just kind of focus my eye with it, or do I want to just kind of stick with one altogether? I still am not completely sold on one or the other just yet. I might hop on the verifier train this spring and summer as we get into 3D, but I'm kind of leery of taking that into the woods. I'd rather just leave it on a target setup, but I don't want to get used to it shooting all spring and summer, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So try working out with both. Try racking focus and having this be in focus and your target be fuzzy. Try having your target be clear and this be fuzzy on top. I have an astigmatism, so I get a really bad starburst here. So I'm really trying to work hard on this outdoor setting, getting lighting changed and that sort of stuff, and really hammering home some method that I can really work with both hunting, 3D, and the indoor target spots. So I hope that's a little bit helpful for you. There is no perfect right answer, but you definitely want to try all the ins and outs. And if I have left you with some other questions or what else I might do in order to better clear up my pins or my target, follow the links in the description below. Hit me up on Facebook and Instagram, send me an email, averagejackArcher@gmail.com, or drop a comment here on YouTube. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation. I hope it's really warmer where you are, and we'll get to see you next time.